Hello and welcome back to the Binge Boys podcast. My name is Enrique.
Tristan.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Austin.
And we are here to talk to you today about A Silent Voice, an animated movie located on Netflix. Before we get down to the nitty gritty with spoilers, we like to do a spoiler free of our opinions on the movie and give you a synopsis of it before we get there. Boys, we watched A Silent Voice, right? Not Your Name. It keeps almost saying Your Name. But we did not watch that movie. Maybe later. But we did watch A Silent Voice, which is about a boy who went to elementary school with a girl who was deaf. And she could not talk properly, and she couldn't hear shit, because guess what? She's deaf. And she would have to talk to each other through notes and notebooks or sign. And no one knew sign in elementary school. And she had one person who was her transcriber. And it shows them what happened in elementary school. They grow up, shows what happens in high school and how they adapted from it, and then how their lives intertwine. Let me start with it first. Did you guys like it? Let me start with Tristan, because Tristan, you've seen anime before.
Yeah, I did like it overall. It was kind of a change of pace for me personally in some of my movie watching. But overall, I did thoroughly enjoy it. I thought it was interesting. And I thought it was well done.
Would you give that a rating out of 10?
Personally,
Yes, personally.
I would have to give it like a 6 at best.
Really? Okay, 6 at best.
Me personally, I thought it was well done and everything. It was just different, and maybe it's just due to the fact that this is different than the kinds of things that I normally watch, and so maybe that's why I didn't quite get some things. But
You also
yeah,
did
I'd say like a 6.
speed watch it today as well. Do you think that factored into your rating?
No. Look, I mean, I watched it in its entirety. I was paying attention the whole time, taking diligent notes. Low-key, one of the big notes I took about it was that was like the slowest moving movie I've ever watched in my life.
Really? I feel like that's a product of you speed watching it, to be honest.
You said you felt like it was the slowest movie you've ever watched in your life?
It felt like it moved really slow.
I felt the same fucking way.
Okay, you sound very...
It felt like I had watched like 20 minutes worth of content, and then I look and it had been 3 or 4 minutes.
That should be good.
So for reference, for those who don't know, Austin and Tristan both watched this movie a couple hours ago. Tristan more recently than Tristan.
I laid down. I took my fucking time watching that movie.
I did too.
I didn't rush myself at all. I watched it this morning. I was like, I'm gonna take my time. I get an honest review. I did my notes. I got questions and shit. So
Same.
I feel like for me,
there's no rush here. That's why, I took my time with it.
So okay. All right, you guys treated it like a high school essay. Waited to the day of, got it in by the due date, barely snuck by. Since Austin,
it's a high school essay.
It wouldn't have been turned in.
You were close there.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been turned in.
I'm kidding, buddy. I'm kidding.
So since Austin's given a taste of his opinion, I'll let you pop off next, King. No spoilers. What were your thoughts on the movie? And give me a score at the end.
Dog shit. Like, I felt like I was sitting in molasses the whole time. I was not a fan of it. I mean, I could tell what they were doing, and I feel like Tristan was saying they did a good job. They did a good job really getting at the points that they wanted to hit, and they hit those points home very hard and very long. And I just, half the time going through that movie, I would find myself doze off a little bit, not falling asleep, but like attention wise, and I'd be like, it's because, yes. And I felt like it was just because it was taking forever, and they kept just I don't know. I felt like there wasn't enough progression in the movie, and I gotta say, because of that, my score. I mean, 5 out of 5 is. I mean, 5 out of 10. Excuse me. Is a is an average good score. I'd say it's a 3.5 for me.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
taking this
I
bitch
did
out
disagree.
at the knees.
There are a few things that he said that I disagree with, like, no, but
All right.
Austin definitely did feel some of the same way that I did about it.
I'm interested for this convo now.
Eli, you've never watched an anime in your life. You've watched cartoons
I have
though.
not. Yeah.
So this is your first anime experience. It's a full length movie, so you got to experience the whole story start to finish. What were your thoughts on it, and what was your score?
So I have some notes that are aligned with some of Tristan and Austin's things that they're saying, but I also understand it from like the other perspective as well. I see it from both sides, and obviously we'll get into that later. But I thought I had a lot of enjoyment out of some of the imagery and it's kind of along those lines. And like Austin said, some of it was just hit home a little bit too much. But as far as it goes, I'd probably give it about 6.5, maybe a 7, pushing it. Okay. In that range. I did enjoy it to some extent. There were times that were a little bit slower than others, but for the most part, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely get into my points.
I will as well. So I thought the movie had very, very good imagery. I thought the character work was pretty good. They did turn one character into a villain just for the sake of having a villain. I hated that fucking character. But I feel like the movie did a great job of presenting issues. And I think I will like this movie better because I have more to relate to it with than you guys do, which I'll talk about later. But it's, in my opinion, it's very solid. It's one of the better anime movies. I can see where you guys are coming from. It's very much a character piece. And, like, if you don't really enjoy the character, you're not going to enjoy the movie, to be honest, right? It's a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. There's no action. There's no fight scene. There's none of that. It's just straight story and talking about how, like, they dealt with their past and things like that in high school now. So, I mean, for me personally, just because I felt, like, more resonated to it, it's like an 8.5 for me. But I can see where you guys are coming from. I'm not surprised by Austin's score, to be honest, because I feel like I kind of knew going into this he wasn't going to like it as much. I'm surprised by Tristan. I thought Tristan would enjoy it a little bit more because he kind of relates to some of it. And then I agree with yours, Eli. Yours is pretty, like, I see where you're coming from, and I saw that coming from you. The only one I didn't see that the scores coming from were probably Tristan. But like I said, about an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean,
Real fast.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so like, yeah, I rated it probably a little low, for what you might have thought, and it's like I said, I did enjoy it. I guess some of the aspect, like I said, the real big things were just kind of the change of pace, and it's not like I had an issue with the kind of movie it was, you know. I don't have any problems with it being more like a storyline kind of character story movie. And some of it did hit home a little bit, but I guess I didn't quite relate to it as much as you guys did. And then there were some things that I just kind of honestly didn't understand.
Yeah. I guess it's a spoiler-free question, so I want to ask it before we get into spoiler. Do you guys know anyone that's deaf? Any of you? Yes, no?
Honestly, you cut it out for me.
Yeah, I didn't hear a single thing you said.
My bad. Fucking internet. That's what happens when you record a podcast over the web. Do any of you guys know anyone that is deaf?
I don't say that.
No, any
I can't say
what
that.
now?
Do you know anyone that's deaf?
You cut out again.
Do you know anyone that's deaf?
Anyone that's deaf?
Okay, Austin, can you repeat that?
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Anyone that's deaf?
Tristan,
Yeah.
you know somebody who can't hear sounds.
You fucking can't hear shit right now. Maybe it's fucking you.
Yeah, you know yourself.
Shit.
Sorry, Rick keeps cutting out. I don't know what it is. Austin wasn't.
You're cutting out as well. So I think it's the internet.
I believe it. Do I know anyone?
I feel like it's a pretty easy question to answer. I don't feel like you have to rack your brain if you
Yeah, I
have
was-
one.
Honestly,
You don't have to
I
think.
would say
I'm about to overstep him right now if you don't actually start talking.
Oh, I do know. a
no,
couple
or
people.
like I know that person that her name is this. They are deaf. I've never talked to them in my life. Or well, obviously not going to talk to them, but
Do you know of
Are
you
them or
gonna-
do you know them personally? Like, do they know your name too?
exactly. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, like, my friend, an old friend, his parents are deaf, so I didn't interact with them a ton.
Mhm.
But it's not like I only know of
Okay.
them. You know,
Mhm.
like I played sports with him, and I was over at his house sometimes.
I'd say that's fair.
I count
for
that.
me, so my great grandmother, she was deaf to the fact to where she couldn't. You'd have to. I mean, it was more old. I know more old age deafness, and then I personally am partially deaf,
Mhm.
but more old age deafness. So my great grandmother, without her hearing aids in, she would literally pull those sons of bitches out sometimes because she won't want to hear us bullshit. And so that'll happen. And then same thing with one of my grandfathers. One of my grandfathers is so deaf, you got to get up right next to him and yell at him a little bit. But not I can't say I know anyone that's completely deaf.
So one of my old friends I knew, her mother was deaf, and I went to her house a couple times, and she would talk to me. She would talk, like speak English and everything like that, like how the character in here does. So she would talk. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
weird, but you could still kind of like understand what she's saying. So like it was funny. It was different to me the first time I talked to her. She knew of me from elementary school because I used to play wall ball all the time, and I was like really good. And so she was like, "Oh, I know." She like we like did it in like the weird voice. She's like, "I know you play wall ball," and like yeah, I had a conversation with her when she was reading my lips and stuff, and it was pretty interesting for me because
That's
she knew sign language and everything like that. So I like kind of knew about a little bit of it, that stuff. So like that portrayal of how like they talk in that is pretty accurate. I don't know if
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys tried it at all, but like it's not the sound she's making is only lips. So like she can read lips, so she's moving lips movement. She's not using tongue. That's why some of this shit
Mhm.
sounds weird. Like when she like one part specifically, I won't say it because we're spoiler free. But yeah. So I think that kind of was like interesting to me because I kind of know someone like that and talk to people like that. So it was kind of cool seeing that happen in a movie. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really all I want to ask spoiler free wise. Do you guys want to get into spoilers now?
I think it's time.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm cool with it.
Let's do it.
All right, we are going into spoilers. Before we get there, Tristan is going to have a special message from our sponsor, Anchor, back again this week. Take it away, Tristan.
All right.
And we're back. All right, boys. Spoiler section of A Silent Voice. Well, let me ask you guys. How'd you feel about the opening scene? Like the first 2 minutes?
Are you talking like with the light thing?
What light thing are you talking about?
You're talking about the entrance credits, right?
I was talking about not kind of the credit. Yeah, like that first initial scene where he's like clearing out his bank account, he's getting money ready,
Oh,
things like
Oh,
that. What'd you
okay.
guys
I
think
didn't
about
understand that.
You didn't understand that?
When it was happening.
Wait.
I had no idea what was happening.
Oh,
I had no
my
idea who
Lord.
that was or like what the deal was.
You didn't.
Well, yeah, you don't know the character yet, but you got to have some sort of idea. Like he's clearing his bank account, selling everything, trying to tie up loose ends,
The
and then
money
he's
I owe
standing on
you.
he's walking onto a bridge, like he's doing all that shit. You got to know
Mm.
what's happening. Wow, he just got that.
Did you really?
Big brain
Well,
play.
now that I think about like
Big
later in the
motherfucking brain play.
movie,
I might
now that I think
disregard your
about later
opinion
in
on
the
this
movie,
movie.
it makes sense.
Yo, that's okay.
I'm gonna be honest, Tristan. I might disregard your opinion on this movie if you didn't catch that. Holy shit, dude!
That's like no shit, dude. Like fuck.
Look, I just
Hey, and you're
Alright.
saying I fucking sped through this some bitch and didn't pay attention. He didn't
I
even get
I
that
said
fucking.
you watched it before he did today.
no,
So
that has nothing to do with when I watched it. That just has everything to do with me being a pea brain.
I could have told you that. We didn't
His
watch the
mom,
movie to do
his
that.
mom in the movie literally references it later, saying, "I don't want you to do that again.
She
This
says
is
it.
why I'm burning your money."
She says it
No,
right away.
I know, and
Like
yes,
within the
but I
next 2
didn't
minutes.
think I didn't make that connection to the opening credits
You
for
didn't
some
see
reason.
him set the money down next to her and be like, "Oh, and I have a great son that paid me off," or you didn't see none of that.
Or the
I saw
envelope
that in the whole
that subtitle it said
burning the money thing.
it said the envelope that said the money I owe you.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I saw that part.
Dear Lord, Tristan.
Well, we can't be sitting here roasting Tristan the whole time. We
It
got to keep moving on.
didn't.
But
It just
we're
didn't
definitely
click.
going to.
Okay,
Didn't click at the
that's
time.
fine.
That's
All right, Eli.
It's happened to Enrique a couple times. Yeah.
Tristan. Not that bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. That one's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I understand. Anyway,
Eli,
I know,
Austin. Let
I'm
me ask
sorry.
you the guys then. What did you guys think having a cold open where your main character's about to kill himself?
I
Go for it. My bad.
okay. No, sorry. I was just gonna say, going into a movie about like, I knew it was about like bullying and stuff. Like, I assumed there was gonna be like scenes kind of like that and like kind of touching on that. So like opening with that, I wasn't like surprised. But at the same time, like it was kind of interesting to see that it start that way. When you said opening the start of the movie, I assumed you were talking about like the credit scene and stuff. I was like, I skipped that son of a bitch, but
The visuals were on
yeah.
point. The opening bit,
they
forgot
were,
about that.
but I just
Fish, that
didn't
was good.
yeah, I thought they were good. I just didn't want to sit through a bunch of people's names.
It wasn't.
Um,
It wasn't too long.
It was a couple minutes. It was a minute at least. But yeah, no, I thought it was interesting how they started with that. But
I personally
awesome.
really liked it because I went in whole cold turkey about the thing. Like, I double checked like 3 times to make sure I'm actually watching the right movie because I didn't even put in. I was like, I think this is what it's called. So I'm glad I watched the right movie. But I went in full cold turkey and I thought it was great, honestly, because I really like when they do that because then it gives you got to make a connection to characters in movies and stuff like that. So you automatically get exactly how he's feeling and exactly what's really going through his head because he doesn't show that to everyone. Because obviously his mom didn't know right then and there that he was doing what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone around him didn't realize that he was going through that, which is a big part about depression. And it shows you, and is really important for this kind of movie to show you what your main character is thinking at all times. So I really liked it, and I like movies that do that sometimes that really open you up to the main character so you can make a connection with that character before we get into all the shit.
I thought that was a really good cold open. It was kind of like hitting you with like a water bucket to your face out the gate. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? He's gonna kill himself? How the fuck did we get here? Because you don't know anything up until that point. You just see a dude getting ready to off himself. And then he's on the bridge. He's standing there, and he kind of has like the vision of him jumping and shit. I thought that was pretty cool. Just in not cool like Suicide's cool, but like cool as in like that he saw like you see that he had the emotions he's going through. Didn't have to say any words because he didn't say anything at first. It just was just all visuals. And maybe they should have had some words to help some other people, but they didn't. So yeah, I thought that was solid. And then we move from that. We go to Flashback City. Him in elementary school. What'd you guys think about the bullying video part? I guess the first 10-20, where it was just showing like what he was doing to her and like how all the kids treated her and stuff like that. Shouko.
Me personally, it just made me cringe up, dude. I hate that kind of stuff. I hate seeing it happen in real life. I hate seeing it in movies, whatever. It just like makes me feel like empty, Like I hate seeing that kind of stuff go on because it actually happens, and just knowing that kind of sucks because nobody wants to be put in that situation.
Yeah, it really is.
That's my opinion on it.
It's tough because I remember on the last episode of Binge Boys.
Max?
I remember on the last episode of Binge Boys, I was screaming about in Shooter the fucking hillbillies from last week. I fucking hated them for being like bullies and domestic abusers and stuff. And then we go straight from that into this episode, this movie where like it's happening right away. So Shoya was already my shit list out the gates. To be honest, I was like, "You're a fucking punk.
Yeah.
Every single one of you kids is a punk." I wrote down in my notes, I was like, he's gonna have to cure cancer for me to like to feel better for him, like to feel empathetic.
Right.
I was like, he's gonna have to jump through some fucking hoops for it.
I feel.
Yeah, so Austin, you said you wanted Tristan to go ahead and pop his shit off, so let me hear it, Tristan.
Get it, T-Max.
Yeah. It hurt my heart a bit to watch all that at the beginning. Like I've never had to experience being the new kid or anything. I mean, so being the new kid is hard enough. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we understand that being the new kid is hard enough, but then to throw on top of that you're deaf, and for that to be like an introduction to kids about something like that is just compounds everything. And to see them just like handle that so poorly, I mean, oh, you're different than us, so we hate you. Like, come on. Like, for real, dude. I was a bit I was yeah, that saddened me. Watch kind of that whole opening part. I didn't understand. There was just no reason for them to be that way to her, especially because she was being so nice to them. Like she was trying so hard to just make friends and all that other stuff. And they were like, "Oh, you're not even trying." I was like, "Dude, what? Like, what do you want her to do? Like, come on, you know?" So that was kind of it. I was just really sad. I mean, I specifically made the note. I was like, they're all dicks to her, especially the one dark-haired hoe and Shoya.
Specifically, Shoya did some fuck shit. Austin, go ahead and let you pop off, King.
Yeah, I was thinking. I think this is the first instance where I feel like they really hit home, and obviously it makes you feel like shit because you never want to see that happen, and you never want that to happen to anyone, especially with how her character is portrayed and everything, and her, like you guys were saying, her being so nice and everything about everything, and trying to be most, I don't know, trying to making the best of the situation. You know, she lives with this, and so she makes the best of it. And but I feel like I don't know, I feel like some of the things that were happening, I feel like that wouldn't happen as many times as they were, or I feel like maybe things are maybe it's other. I don't know. I feel like they pushed a little far on some of the things. Like literally her hearing aids getting stolen, what, 6 times until her parents actually said something about it. Like I know she wasn't going to say something about it. Like obviously that's not how that works, but 6 times for her parents to actually say something about it, and then the teachers not saying shit about, like, I don't know. I just feel like that it got pushed a little far, and I don't see that necessarily getting pushed as far as it did in some cases.
It was
Yeah.
it was 8 times. I wrote it down actually.
Was it 8 times?
Yeah, because I wrote it down because I was
It was
curious.
8.
How much do fucking hearing aids cost? And I was really curious.
Oh, they're fucking expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
implants are hundreds. I mean, hearing aids, 100. Like implants are even more expensive, but like just hearing aids themselves are hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
So I looked it up,
every
and
time.
they range from like $1,000 to a couple $1,000 for hearing aids. So if you think about it, Shoya fucked up 8 pairs. He almost cost that family 10 grand. So when later on, when his mom gives him money, you understand why she's giving him the money, because that was a lot of fucking cash. He didn't know how much it cost and shit like that. I also thought that they did a good job of gradually going into it, because at first everyone wanted to talk to her because she was different and they're trying to be cool with her at first, but then after time she wasn't cool anymore, and it was like getting annoying, and then they started to turn on her, and then it was really just the ringleaders of Shoya and the black haired chick that really started it to pop off that way.
Nahuka.
Naoka, yeah. Do you, after the first 10, which I think stops right before he starts busting hearing aids, did you feel like he could redeem himself successfully? So like before he got to the hearing aids, where you're like, this kid can come back from this. Eli, do you think he could come back?
I'll say for me, no. Like for me, I was like I hate people like that, you know. Like, and I don't use like I use the word hate very gently usually, but I hated that kid. Like I don't know, he just made me feel a way that don't like feeling, I guess. I don't know. I just did not like it.
Austin, did you think he could redeem himself?
Honestly, I don't know if he ever truly did. I don't know. I mean, yes, he did. He did redeem himself, but I don't know if he could. I mean, it was just I kind of just personally wrote him off at that point, and I was like, well, I mean, I just kind of wrote him off. Like, obviously, you can't not pay attention because he's the main character and all that crap. But I was kind of just like, I was still a little upset. Like, I feel like it's a little much. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I didn't think so, and I don't know if the movie definitely made him come back basically from it. But I don't know if I would have even, I don't know. Personally, I feel like I wouldn't have given him the chance, or even if all those things did happen, I don't know if he could have ever actually came back from that. I'm sure there's something deep down where it wouldn't matter.
Tristan?
Mm. I mean, at first, okay, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt for like a couple minutes. I was like, all right, like what's going on, because I was still trying to figure out exactly, I was trying to figure out who was the main character and like what the deal was gonna be. The absolute like last straw for this was like him straight up ripping the hearing aids out of her ears and causing her to bleed. Oh, I would have absolutely had to just deck a kid if I ever saw something like that happen. Like I would
Facts.
curb stomp somebody for doing that. Honest to goodness. I'd be going to jail. I saw someone do that to someone else.
I agree with Tristan.
It was and then later on, so after that, after finally he snaps the fucking eight hearing aids that cost nearly $8,000+. The mom reports him, and then everyone fucking turns on him. They try to build sympathy there. I didn't really feel sympathy for him there. If anything, I felt even more hate for everyone else. I was like, you guys fucking suck.
Oh
Dude.
yeah.
Like, you all fucking jumped in and bullied the shit out of her, but now you guys want to fucking, oh no, it was him all along. Yeah, it was Shoya. Because the teacher jumped on him first. They didn't get everyone. He was like, oh yeah, it was all Shoya. Shoya kept doing it. What do you mean? Like, I never bullied her in my life. I've never seen this girl.
Yeah. That was that like Mickey chick, the blonde, I forgot her name. Dude, she pissed
yeah, it was
me
like
off,
Nikki or
bro.
Mickey. I literally wrote and I I actually ended up saying this towards the end of the movie, because like for a while, she wasn't like around, and she like came back, but towards the end of it, I was like, yo, I was like, Nikki is fake. I was like, she's so fake. I was like, what is going on here? Because she just, I mean, skipping ahead just a little bit technically, she never took blame for anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
She kind of did at the end, but kind of. Even then, she didn't get the full like credit of what she did. She only got the
she was
laughing at part.
Yeah,
she had some rich white girl vibes going on.
True.
Real, like a student body president.
Yeah.
Oh, I love everyone.
Yeah. Popular girls.
I feel that. So then his mother goes up, and then they call his mom. She's like, she finds out he gets home after he threw himself in the river with her notebook, or the pond with her notebook and shit. They call her. Then she's like, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Then she goes and calls her parents, and then she goes with money. She brings him too. She goes with money. She gives them the money back for the hearing aids, obviously. And then they disappear, and then he takes off down the pond, sees her and shit, and then he comes back, and his mom's bleeding from the ear. So what the fuck? What'd you guys think happened there? Because I think I kind of think I know what happened, but they never really explicitly say it.
Are we talking about how it kind of jumped from? Wait, what are you talking about exactly?
When he goes to the pond with his mother, and she gives him the money, she takes off. She waves him over, but the other girl's mom is like, no. And then they walk away, and then he goes to the pond, and then he goes over to the pond where Shouko is feeding Koi.
Yeah.
And then she comes back. Then Shoya comes back after that, and his mom, her right ear is bleeding. Do you guys
his
have
mom's ears
inference
were
about
bleeding.
why that happened?
I think she might have had her earrings ripped out, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was my thought.
Do you think the other girl's mother Shoko's mom did it on purpose? Do you think Shoko's mom did it, or did she do it to show like resilience? like to show like I'm sorry, it's here, eye for an eye kind of shit.
Hmm.
Because I caught that right away, and I was
I'm
like, "Yo,
assuming
what
it's
the
the eye
fuck?"
for an eye type.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I
the other
almost
mother did it or she did it.
assumed. I almost assumed that Shoya's mom let her like rip her earrings
Right.
out as like a like a attempt at an apology.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that Shoyo's mom did it to herself. I don't think that. I mean, I guess you could make a case that um, the other girl's mom did it because of how aggressive she is later in the movie towards Shoyo.
Mm-hmm.
Could make a case for that, but I mean, I feel like something that pivotal and even creating even more tension between them. I feel like they would want to show that. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't. I feel like maybe it's maybe the part of me wants to believe that Shoyo's mom did it, not that the other girl's mom did.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I kind of leaned towards the other mom did it just because she was upset and she didn't come back with the earring. That's the only reason I leaned towards the other mom did it. Because she came out
Mm.
with the earring missing. She didn't like have it in her hand or anything. So that's it. That's all I got for that one.
I do have a question.
Yo, what's up, brother?
So I got confused around this part.
Mhm.
For example, I had no idea how he ended up in the pond with like when or was before or after that, but like there's the part where he throws her book in like the little pond and she
Mhm.
goes in after it. You were mentioning that, right, Reek?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, no, maybe so.
I
Yes,
did. Yes.
yeah, he was mentioning that, and I know exactly what T Mac's talking about. I have no idea how he ended up in the
All of a
pond.
sudden,
Even
he's just in the pond, and I was like,
I don't know if his friends who used to hang out with pushed him, or like I just always the next thing we see is he's just in the pond. That was literally my first question. What did they push Shoyo into the pond? Like that's what I wanted to. That's what I thought, but I don't know what.
That was
I don't know.
yeah, I was confused because then I'm pretty sure right about then it kind of did like some weird little flash forward thing,
Yeah.
older Shoya, and I was like, so I literally wrote, was like, are there multiple timelines going on, like in The Witcher? It's like, are they going to converge some stuff right here? What's going on here?
I took it as a flash forward, but I'm with you, Tristan. Like at first, I was like, "Why is he in the pond now?" And then I was like, because at first I thought it was a flashback to like if he was the new kid, and then I was like, "No, that doesn't make sense." And then I was like, "Oh no, it must be a flash forward." And I don't know. I took it as a flash forward at the end of the day.
Um, I might be misremembering, but I could have sworn he ran out of the class by himself, and then it kind of skipped, and he was in the pond. So I just assumed he threw himself in there with all the books and shit, because I think he had her book on his head too. But that's just what I guessed from it. I don't. Obviously, we don't know because it skips forward a little bit. But yeah. So yeah, you guys said after that flashes forward, and he talks to his mom about how much money she gave him. So she said it was 1.7 million yen, and I don't know if you guys know the general conversion rate, but it's basically like they don't have cents there. So basically, you just add like to convert to USD or like dollars or whatever, it would be like you just skip 2 decimal points and then put or like two numbers and you put the decimal point there, like this would be cents. So I kind of knew it was like 17 grand, but it was around like 16,000, like a little bit less than $16,000 that he gave his mom, and she she ended up burning. So she,
Oh,
Damn.
yeah, that was something.
um, personal question. Feel free not to ask, but after that, we start to see Shoya and his like interpretation of high school, and everyone has X's over their face because he can't look them in the face. He kind of self isolates and things like that. Uh, did you guys relate to that at all? Why or why not? You don't have to answer if you don't feel like it's.
I guess I'll go. I'll say for me at least, like high school. I mean, I don't know. I do and don't like. some days like you just walk down the halls and you're like, I don't want to see that person, don't want to see that person, definitely don't want to see that person. So you kind of just ignore everybody. But then there are some people, like some people didn't have X's on their face, you know, and there's some people you actually did want to like associate with. So those people in the movie wouldn't have X's, but I definitely get what the movie's trying to show, I guess, that like there's some people that you just want to ignore and get the day over with, I guess.
Personally, I 100% relate to this. I've always kept my friend group really small and always had like one or two friends, and I feel like I wouldn't talk to anybody. I feel like I didn't feel comfortable talking to anyone. I didn't feel like I was the type of person that could go walk up and start talking to anyone. So I 100% related to this, that only close friends are the only people that you really talk to, and close friends are the only people you really encounter with. And every other interaction's like awkward or forced, but I never found myself going out of my way to do that just to random people. And that's, so I 100% relate to that, and it makes a lot of sense because it covers their face because it doesn't matter what they look like because you're not even going to consider talking to them at all. Like, and that's why you don't look at them. Like, you're not going to consider talking to them at all, and I can 100% relate to that.
Tristan?
See, this part I did not relate to as much personally. High school for me, not that I felt like a popular kid or anything, or that like everybody loved me, but I was involved in a lot of things, and so like I knew a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of people at least knew who I was, you know. So I could be, and there was very rarely times, for sure by the end of high school, where I was walking in the hall and wouldn't see someone that I knew and at least like say what's up, you know, something or other. And so there was always plenty of people that I didn't know or never talked to or have never bothered to talk to per se. But I also didn't have a problem with that kind of thing, I guess. I wouldn't be the kind of person to see the X's on people's faces, you know. For me, it was kind of interesting to pay attention to what's going on around me and see the different kinds of things that happen, you know.
So I used to pretty bad. I still kind of do, but I used pretty bad social anxiety, and it does a really fucking good job of explaining how it feels. He basically says like he can't look people in the eyes in general, and like that's pretty accurate. Like I wouldn't like look people in the eyes. I keep my head down or my hood up for the most part, and just not really pay attention to what other people are doing, especially in class. Like what he does when he like looks out the window and fucks off. I would do that a lot. I'd fuck off with like pencils or whatever. So that kind of fucking hit me good, really. And so I was like, I feel that a lot because like it's really like that. Like you just don't want to interact with anyone, and it was also paranoia in that sense because he kept thinking everyone hated him and everyone was talking to him. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he would look at them and he'd hear conversations in his head when they weren't even talking.
Mm-hmm.
He'd picture them hating him,
Yep.
and that's also a really bad problem with social anxiety. And that I have too, is that like you'll just think that people hate you when they really don't, or you think people will make fun of you when they're really not, and it's fucking ridiculously hard to get over, and it does a really good job of showing that. Especially the way he was traumatized, how every single one of his friends ditched him, and then he got blackballed in middle school because everyone told on him, so he got used to it all middle school, and he just got used to it in high school as well, where he just wouldn't talk to people. So the X thing to me was really cool, and I thought it was awesome when he met the Brocco boy, and the X fell off his face after he introduced himself to him, and how he gave the dude his bike for the bigger kid, the broccoli head kid, and I thought that was really cool. Like the
Brocco boy,
Brocco boy, for when the X falls off his face, I thought that was really cool, and it was that was the start of his road to redemption, in my opinion, when he gave the kid his bike. And then they started having their friend montage. The Brocco boy also says a really funny quote. He says a really fucking funny quote. He tells him, "I saved you a seat," and the theater's fucking empty. That was hilarious to me. It was such a little line, but he's like, "Yeah,
The
man, I
empty
saved you a
theater.
seat," and it's just empty. No one's there. I'm like, "God damn it!"
And then what got even better was it shows them watching it, and Nagatsuka's Rocco boy is he's all like excited by the movie, and Shoya's just sitting there kind of like Brock from Pokemon, super straight face. You can't tell what he's thinking.
Yeah, that was a really funny scene. And then the next scene after that was super funny too, where they're eating at the like food court or whatever, and he's like, so like he was asking him like because he has never had like a friend since elementary school or whatever. He's like, so like are we like friends now? Like how does that work? And he takes the fucking French fry and he dips it in the ketchup to make it look like a cigarette. And it's a fucking cigarette. He's like, take my hand, boy. He did like a Godfather thing. I thought that was fucking funny as shit too.
Yeah, Boston accent.
Yeah, he was like, take my hand.
He was good for that.
Yeah.
He definitely introduced a much needed break from all the downness, I think, and they did a good job bringing that in with him. And just from the start of the movie, you know, because at that point, being a watcher of the movie, that you would get, it was getting pretty like, okay, here we go, shitty shit, shitty shit, shitty shit, shitty shit, and then all of a sudden you get this little bit of uptick. So that was a good part. But
It was getting really heavy. Very right, Austin.
Also, I got a really big fucking laugh out of this, but when it showed his sister's daughter and she was black or whatever, I wrote down in my notes, I said, "Damn, his sister got a baby by Busta," so like referencing the Kanye West song "Gold Digger." And boy, was I fucking shocked at the end.
Yeah, me too,
When
man.
he showed up.
Wait, when what?
Yeah, he got back from the army.
At the end where his sister's husband came back from the army. You know what I'm talking about, Tristan?
Yeah.
And he's just fucking black and just ripped. I wrote down in my notes, I was just dying. I just started cracking. I had to pause it. I was really like, is that Adrian Peterson? Is that Charles Woodson? Is that Bobby Wagner?
Wait, did you guys not see him earlier in the movie?
That's what I was about to say. You didn't see when they were doing basically the time lapse cut play of him and his buddies fucking off, and they open the curtain and it's so fucking creepy.
He was
The black
like,
guy was
just
sitting there
lifting away.
and just like sweating and staring him down. They fucking scared to shut the screen again.
Yeah,
Y'all didn't
dude.
see that?
I didn't
don't
catch
remember
that,
this, to
no.
be honest.
The two people
don't
that
remember
watched it today fucking caught this, and they didn't. Just had to say that.
Because it's fresh in your mind because you just watched it today.
I told you that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, you can't
You didn't
can't
know he was
easily
gonna kill
understand
himself earlier.
Look,
Not me. I knew that.
look. Okay. Moving on.
it. All right.
Oh
You
wait,
can tell
quick.
most of the time after high school, in between now and their high school.
One more quick side note. Yes. Shoya's niece Maria, cutest little thing ever. That
Oh,
was
awesome.
Another happy little
Hey,
addition to the
Gotta
movie.
chill with that one. Just play.
What?
Dang, all right.
Fuck out of
Just
here with
play.
that, bro.
Play.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
all right.
And it was funny though when she would come back, she'd be like, show, and it was super hilarious every time. And like when he woke up,
That's also. Sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, you were breaking up for me, so I didn't know you were talking. My bad. But I was just gonna say that's also very accurate. Like I have two much younger little sisters than me, and especially going through high school and stuff. No matter what mood I was in, they were always the same thing, and it's kind of nice having that consistency. So that also was very true. Every single time, they're always happy about something.
It was super funny. It was super cool. And it also makes it a little bit sadder that he was willing to kill himself with all these people like willing to support him, like his mom and his sister and his niece and stuff like that. It was kind of it made it even sadder knowing that he was gonna like off himself or whatever.
I wanted to throw in a quick thing. If anybody's friends with Tristan, make sure you're not trying to kill yourself while he's there, because he's not going to realize you're trying to kill yourself.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Make sure you go to somebody else.
My goodness.
You're
Dude.
trying to be too nice.
I'm just playing, Tristan.
Oh my
God.
Oh
moving on.
my goodness.
Needed to be said.
Just playing, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then so after that, he finally finds Shouko, talks to her or whatever. That was cool. He learned sign language in the time, which was dope in my opinion. I don't think he did it purposely for her. I think it just happened because a lot of other people knew sign language in the movie. So in like Japan, I know they do English is a mandatory class. So he probably took sign language as like an elective style thing. So he signs with her or whatever, and then like they talk at the koi ponds and everything like that. And he just kind of like just talks to her and he asks to be friends, and then he realizes that she was trying to tell him we want to be friends back then, and he feels just even more like a fucking asshole, which he should, because he was a fucking asshole. He threw sand at her in that part. That was fucking ridiculous. When he threw the sand, that was fucking ridiculous in my opinion.
That was the exact another time where I'm like, they're really like, it's
kids do that shit. Like
hard.
that one I'd like I've seen people do that shit. Like throw sand at people over stupid shit like that.
Kids are mean.
Hold on. But at the same time, I can't help but think of Pocket Sand.
Pocket Sand
from
What?
King of the Hill, my dude. You've never seen that?
Can't say that I have
I've
actually.
seen King of the Hill, but it's why you're the elder, I guess, of the group.
And that's a swing. A swing and a miss, boys. We get them next time.
R.I.P. Pocket Sand.
But yeah, he just hit her with fucking sand. I was like, you cunt. And so then I think then he meets her boyfriend.
Dude, that fucking part pissed me off so much. I'm like, y'all are idiot. Oh my god, dude.
Okay, no.
Holy fuck.
I thought this was a girl.
Stop fucking up. Oh my god.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm her boyfriend." I was like, "Oh, wait a second."
I'm with you, Tristan.
I was like, was I wrong? I was like, what?
I thought it was her little brother. I was like, okay, I let it pass. I guess.
Really?
I let it pass because
the whole time.
Anime does traps all the times, dude. Like that's
what I figured.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I was like, there was no doubt in my mind that was a chick. I was like, boyfriend, no way. I was like,
I know boyfriend, no way. Fuck off with that. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I was like, little brother probably, like little sibling, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And then just fucking snitch, fucking snaps a photo of him jumping in the river, and then gets him suspended for a week.
Yeah.
And then he finds her later at like the park or whatever. She's sleeping in there like a fucking dumbass after running away from home. And she
sleep. Bro, she really was sleeping in the McDonald's play area though.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. He's with Maria or whatever. I think that's his niece's name, right? Maria?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's with Maria and everything like that. And he's like, you got somewhere to go? He's like, no, I got kicked out. Well, she didn't get fucking kicked out. She just ran away.
Yeah.
And then he forces her to go with him to the house. Redemption arc, go stupid, go dumb. That's what I wrote down here. It was going stupid at that. He was going hard in the paint trying to redeem himself. He was trying.
Oh, we completely missed something that I wanted to talk about.
What we skip?
We missed the first porn break that we had, or damn near porn break, when they had that fight in the classroom.
Oh,
dude, I was like, okay, what's going on
when
now?
Fucking
like, hey,
climbed on top of him.
Yeah, that was very weird.
The angles of the hips and with her skirt, I'm just like, yo, no. Stop.
I was getting real scared. I'm pretty sure in my notes I was getting real scared of rape was gonna happen. I was like, God damn, is this child the Antichrist? Because he was getting a kind of rape position.
Jesus.
Literally, right here on my notes, verbatim, was ready for an anime porn to break out when they were fighting in the classroom. Like,
it was. I also wrote down in my notes, I had now he's fighting a little deaf girl. What is up with this dude? She's winning too.
Yeah.
She's winning. What the fuck? And then I wrote, they are in a very suggestive position. Be careful. But yeah, and so then he starts redeeming himself. He brings her to the crib, and then she's introduced her to the parents, to Maria, to his mom at least. Anime has a thing where you can't have both parents if you're the main character. You can have one. You get one.
One parent?
You get one at tops. You get either the mom or the dad.
That's what I was gonna say. There's the only father in the whole freaking thing is the niece's black father that we see for approximately 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the only father. No one else has. I mean, they reference it. I mean, I think they. I don't know if they even reference it, but no one else. No dads. No dads.
You don't get two parents in anime. You get one if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, zero. Like literally every anime fucking ever. Like Goku only gets Grandpa Gohan. Naruto gets neither of his parents. Fucking Gon from Hunter x Hunter gets his dad only. His mom disappeared. Fucking any top anime you name ever, one parent tops. One parent. My Hero Academia, Deku only has his mom. Dad's gone. JoJo's, all the JoJo's either have their mom or their dad. No in between. It's fucking weird. I don't know why they do it, but I guess the show Broken Home Syndrome. But like half the time they mention their dad's alive or something, he just isn't around. It's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. Is Bronco Man's name Nakasuka? Is that his name?
What did I write down?
Because I have
His name
Agatsuka.
Tomohiro Nagasuka.
all right.
This is
He's broccoli head. That's what he is.
Yeah,
broccoli
Bronco.
head. Yeah.
I had to make sure because I wrote down his name in my notes to try to remember it, but I just wasn't. So Bronco boy. Oh my god, dude! And so then he gets slapped by the mom after that, which I thought was nuts, and that also spawned a question.
Oh, when he took her home?
Yeah, he got slapped in the mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Right before that, though, there was the adorable little scene where Maria was feeding her, and I was like, come on.
that was good.
Like, they're doing the airplane with the little kid.
I wrote down a question after she slapped the dog shit out of him, and I said, if you were Shoko's parents, would you forgive Shoya at all? Like, could you find it in any place in your heart to forgive him after everything that happened?
Man.
It's tough. I would try to, but it's not just. I mean, it's not necessarily just given.
Yeah, I think it'd be fucking tough. You have to prove it, which I think by the end he proves it to the mother because he helps a lot. But I think you have to prove it.
Yeah, I think maybe just with the ending, just how the ending was. That's the only time that I guess you really could. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then that, and then oh my god, dude, the worst fucking character in the movie pulls up after this. Fucking
You're talking about Nahuka?
Naoka. Fuck Naoka, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest
Yeah,
dumb
I agree.
bitch ever. She
My
has to
next
be
note.
top 3 greatest anime villain.
Hater.
My next note, literally, Nahuka grew up and is still a bitch. Damn.
You know what I wrote? Because she was handing out coupons or whatever to the fucking club. I wrote down, bruh, the girl who was being a bully after being friends with Shouko is selling ass at a hostess club now. Lol.
Damn.
Because to be fair, at that point in the movie, there was just the Meow Meow Club, and that shit sounded nuts to me.
I know.
Like,
I thought so too.
I don't know if you guys know much about like Japanese culture, but there's this thing like host clubs. Do you guys know what that is at all?
Nope.
I can imagine.
It's like a club. It's like a traditional club, right? Where like it's like a restaurant basically. You go, you sit down, whatever, blah blah blah. You order food. Instead of just ordering food, you get like a chick who works there, like will sit with you and talk with you the whole time. So it's a hostess club, right? And they pay you basically for your time, and you get a cut of what they order. So that's like a host club, right? They have that for dudes and chicks. So they have like girl versions and dude versions, right? And so I thought that's what Meow Meow Club was. I thought she was there fucking talking to 50-year-old men who wanted to beat her cakes and just like telling them like, buy me some more, champagne, blah, blah, blah. I'll talk to you. And,
Definitely. I definitely thought it was a strip club.
And then the disappointment set in. I said, I thought her life fell into shambles. And she was selling ass on the street corner, but instead she's letting people play with her pussies.
Yep.
I wasn't very happy about that. I was like, damn, I want her to die.
Jeez.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, especially after what she does later. I was like, just kill her, like strangle her.
Yeah.
I was like, if I could create one anime character and then just strangle him to fucking death, it'd be her.
Jeez.
I said some more crazy shit in my notes, but I'll talk to you guys about that later. It's pretty bad. And I said, damn, she's still a bitch. And then after that, she gets on his bike, like everything's all good.
Yeah.
I was wondering what she was trying to pull right there, dude. I was like, this.
She was trying to.
shady
She was
girl.
hitting him
bro.
up. She was hitting him up.
She was definitely looking for the dick.
She
we all
was
know what
because she
happened.
liked him
wanted the
back in
dick. That's
elementary
what she
school.
wanted. Yeah.
She was like, we were both bullies to this girl. Like, let's just go.
He started talking shit. She started talking shit. I was like, maybe she changed. Nope, right away. I was like, she works at a kitten club.
Yeah.
Maybe she changed. Nope. She's like, oh look, there's that deaf freak. I was like, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Let's. Dude, she really said, let's take her hearing aids for old time's sake.
Like,
I know,
what the fuck?
Thought we were gonna play an old game of catch.
And he was like, he told her, give me them
Shut up,
shits.
You dumbass.
He said, give me them right
Real,
there.
You can tell
real
she probably
quick.
has no parents.
Real quick. What happened to her other one? Because she went down to 1 for the second half of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was that scene at the doctor, and I didn't understand what was happening there.
That I made a lot of inferences and jumps in my mind. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I think it has something to do with later. So I think they went to the doctors to find out. They found out about their grandmother, I think, right? Because you know how they're all sad and everything like that, and she went home, she was depressed as fuck, and the sister wasn't depressed because she didn't know what was going on. I think that's because they found out the grandmother was sick. And then later on when she dies or whatever, because I was kind of lost too, but I connected the dot when the grandmother, at the end, what happened to her, you know what I mean, when she died. That's when I connected the dot, because that's when I was like, oh, that's probably what happened back then. That's why she only has one left, because she couldn't afford another one for her grandmother's sake. I think that's kind of what I assumed, because they seem poor. Like her family seems poor, Shouko's family, because you look at it, they share one room with each other. The both sisters do, and then I think there was only the living room. I don't think they showed another room in the house. Which had
Kitchen
the grandmother,
or
which had the grandmother and the mom. So I assumed it was like a 2-bedroom place or a 1-bedroom place, and they just had to split because they were kind of poor or whatever. That's how I assumed it was.
It was at least 2-bedroom, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I don't know, because even what's his face?
There was the scene where the younger sister woke up from like a bad dream or whatever, and was laying there with the grandma, and then every time we see them in their own house, and the younger sister's going to go talk to Shouko, it's Shouko laying in the bed, or like when her ears are bleeding, when she's coming to bring the little kitten looking thing, like that's Shouko in her bed. So I assume it's at least a 2, but I get
that
what
was
you're
separated by a curtain. It wasn't a wall. I don't know if you caught that. The curtain between her room and that room was a curtain, not a wall. So like she pulled back the curtain on her at one point in the movie on Shouko. So I think I didn't. If there is a second room, it's not the sister's room. It's, if anything, it would be the mother's room. But they definitely split one room together.
Yes, the sisters did.
Yeah, I know the sisters did. I'm saying there's another room that maybe the grandmother and the mom lived in, or a bedroom.
I'd have to check the scenes again to be 100% sure. But I'm not.
And I don't really. Honestly, with your point about them being too poor, I don't know, because they were able to come up with 7 other ones, like, and I assume it could be some sort of warranty thing or something like that. But they were able to come up with 7 other ones like that, it seemed, or how they portrayed it in the start of the movie. So I really don't know if that holds true, and I don't have a good answer for.
Her dad could have been around back then.
That's kind of what my thoughts were.
Her dad could have been alive back then.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I guess.
I think at that point we're just getting too deep with not enough information.
It's a lot of inferences. I know this movie's based on a manga series, so I could find it out. But I mean, we're just going off what the movie gives us. You know, we're kind of inferring on what the movie does, not like what the series is.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, that's kind of what, an audience should do. I don't think they should give us all the answers every single time. Then it'd be kind of boring. Yeah, and then fucking just Naoka's being a fucking dumbass. I hate her so much. Like,
she's stupid.
I hate her. She's nothing but a hater, cloud chaser, I'm gonna be honest, but...
Oh, God.
Man, the Ferris wheel thing, dude.
Oh
my fucking gosh. I was so mad, dude, just fuming. Because when I saw her grab her and take her away to the Ferris wheel, I was like, you better not fucking do something up there, bro. I swear to God. I thought she was going to try to throw her off. Like, this is how far I thought Naoka was willing to go for this bullshit.
Oh, same.
I thought she was ready to throw her off. I'm like, you better fucking not.
And then I guess I didn't think that far.
I did, because I did not put anything past her at this point.
I was like, I was like, what's a Ferris wheel? Oh, it's super high up in the air. Oh no, she's slipped and fell out of there.
Yeah, just the two of them, you know?
Yeah.
And then, oh my god, she tries to pull something. And then, you don't know what happens. She comes down, and then she tries to reintroduce Shoya to the dude who fucked him over in middle school and all of elementary school. She's like, oh, I thought you guys would be cool again. It's like, I don't like him at all. Like, not a bit.
Yo, but when he handed Shoya the food, and he was like, "No, hookah, you need to learn to mind your business." I was like, "Oh," because I hadn't shown his face yet, and then they showed who it was. I was like, "Oh, it's him." I was like, "Oh, he really just told her that."
I assumed it was him on the
That's
hair
when,
color.
that's when all the exes came back because he was like, "Oh, we're all friends." Blah blah blah.
He was like, "Can it be real to have this much fun?"
Yeah.
And then everyone fucking betrayed him right away.
Yep.
First chance they got to switch up on him, they did it. Then fucking the sister show you the video of what happened in the Ferris. Nawoka slapped her. She fucking slapped a death chick in a Ferris wheel.
She said, "I hate you,"
and I'm just like, dude, just kill her. Like, let's just crucify her. Let's kill her with the guillotine. I don't care what it is. This character needs to fucking go. Like, that's all I was thinking at that point. And I was just bewildered. And I don't know, dude. And then the scene where they all switch up on him after he calls them out on their bullshit because he's not having it. And they all try to point fingers at him. Oh, how could you do that? And
for real.
The chick tries to do it again in high school. She tries to fucking snake him in front of the whole class on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to scream,
She was like,
"You're the
"I
one
never
who bullied the
did
deaf
that."
girl." And she started crying
Does it
again.
in the hall. She does it right there in the fucking walkway in the classroom where everyone can hear her. Like,
Yeah.
The only one who didn't deserve it on the bridge. Okay, there's two people who didn't deserve it on
Random
the bridge.
guy,
in my opinion.
redhead guy.
The random redheaded dude
Yup.
who may have been from early. He may have been there in sixth grade or whatever, but I didn't remember him.
He wasn't there in elementary school.
My
at all.
boy
They say that.
Nagatska, boy Brocco boy.
Brocco boy
He didn't deserve any of that.
He didn't deserve it. But he caught a stray shot though.
He was kind of clingy.
Bro, he was wearing Shoya's backpack as some extra protection, but Shoya pierced right through the body armor, bro, and he was like, "Oh, my heart."
Shoya was just doing a drive-by. He wasn't looking, you know what I mean? He was just shooting.
Mm-mm.
He was just shooting, and he caught a stray into the chest. He was like, my heart. But Brocco boy knew. He's like, I know you're not mad, bro. I know you're just upset.
Yeah.
I know you're just mad right
good.
now.
I did like that part.
Brocco
Like,
boy's the only one who didn't switch up there. The only one who didn't switch up. He was like, I
Yep.
know you're mad right now. And I was just like, good shit, Brocco boy. You're top 5 all time. You're like the Kareem of the all time greatest list. Unforgotten, unspoken, but still great.
Yeah.
And
It's like Karl Malone, right?
Yeah. And
Just playing.
oh no, not like Karl Malone. Not like Karl Malone. Not like Karl Malone. We don't talk about him. He's forgotten for a reason. And then Shoya has a mental breakdown. And I thought that movie did a good job showing like mental breakdowns, like how like just like that, if it starts piling up, you'll just fucking snap and be like, all right, leave me alone. I need to be by myself now. And he pretty much did that except for Shouko.
And just chilled.
Yeah, he pretty much isolated himself from everyone but Shouko after that. Like she's the only one he talked to at that point, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And then we lead into the first time where I started to freak the fuck out, where I thought Shouko died. Where after like when they started doing the funeral thing, and she wasn't there at the pond or whatever, or the river, and then the little sister was there, and then she was crying. I was like, bro, don't tell me they fucking killed her off, because we didn't know what the hospital was for earlier, right?
Yeah.
And she was missing a thing. I was like, dude, they're really gonna fucking kill her off like this. And I was like, well, all right, boys, wrap it up, pack it up. It's time to fucking hate this movie now. But then we find out the grandma just died. It was just the grandma, nothing too big.
Yeah, nobody cares. I'm sorry.
Even though they did have a cool scene with the grandma.
No, she was cool. She said, "I'm so proud of you. You're such a good kid, even though you don't go to school."
Yeah. I mean,
it's bad influence on some of these children these days.
She tries.
You got a heart of gold.
Yeah, which is pretty fucking funny. And it was just, I don't know. At that point, the movie just really went into hyperactive. We're just gonna fucking stomp on any sort of hope you have. We're just gonna make you nervous the whole time. Because I was just nervous. Like, after that point, I was like, all right, This ain't ending happy. I just know. Especially after the fucking Naoka video, dude. I was like, after what she said up there fucking stung, because she said that everything that happened to Shoya was because of her, and that Shoya still hates her. And he's been trying this whole time to show her he doesn't hate her. And she just broke everything with one fucking couple sentences, you know what I mean? And I was just like, fuck. And so you knew something was going on with Shouko. And then the I love you scene was also...
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
That was tough, man.
Yeah.
That was tough. What you think about that, Tristan? I feel like, your hope was romantic.
About which part again?
The I love you scene?
I love you. The moon thing.
Wow!
No. Just the fact that he was like, the moon? I was like, dude! Come on! She's not even looking at the moon, you idiot!
Yeah, he was.
That's about as oblivious as I would be, though. Like I just, you know.
Here we go. He just figured out more of the movie.
No. I just that part definitely hit with me a little bit more. Between him being oblivious on one side, I relate to that, and her trying to express these feelings that the other person just doesn't understand, I also felt that one. So
it was a double whammy for you.
Bro, I got hit with the wombo combo, left, right, upper hook, just absolutely just mauled by that scene.
They had to turn it upside down for Wombo.
Yes, they did. They hit him with the Wombo punch because that was tough. Because she was really like, I thought for a second what they're gonna do, they're gonna hit a switch up on him, and that she was getting hyped for another dude. I was like, damn, are they gonna switch it up on us right now? But they didn't switch it up, so thankfully.
Oh, so me watching that scene, you guys know in Mario Super Sluggers where like if you hit a pitch just right, it does
just go. Okay.
So like if you hit a pitch just right, it does like pew 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 pew, and it does like different little like
jump cut
shots, and then you just like smack the ball. Yeah. So think of when DK does that with his boxing glove as his bat.
Yeah.
That's what that scene did to me.
Jesus Christ.
That's what that scene did. It was like, pew, pew, pew,
bro,
pew.
you went far with that analogy.
Jesus Christ.
Respect that.
You
went so far with that one. I respect it, though.
That's the scene that hit the deepest for me. That was one of the scenes that hit the deepest for me. I was like, come on. I was like, let it happen.
Imagine getting heartbroken just thinking, Mario Super Sluggers cutscenes, bro. Dude, that's what comes to your mind?
Yep.
No, I was thinking about just how the scene beat me up, dude.
So you think of Super Sluggers?
Yeah.
On the Wii. From when's the last time you played that? For me, it had to be over 6 years ago.
Oh, it's less than that for me, for sure.
Oh, okay. I'm like, it's a quality game though.
Great
100%.
Game.
Oh yes.
Anyway.
Oh, but yeah, it beat me up. It was tough, but at the same time, I think that scene was very good for like the story, because she goes home crying to her sister, and she's like, "I told him I love him," and her sister was all like, "You did what now?"
Bro, that was so cute though.
Yeah.
Like when she goes home, she slams her face in the pillow and does the kicking thing. I was like, oh, like people do that. Like everyone does that at some point in their life.
Yeah, 100%.
When you get fucking mad, you're like, I fucked up. You just kick it. Like you're mad, but you're not like angry. You're just like, damn.
You're mad at yourself.
Yeah, you're just kicking. You're like, fuck, dude, I fucked up.
Oh, I've done it so many times.
Same, dude. It was really cute seeing her do that. Or they'd be like, and her little messed up voice telling her sister about it. And she was like, I told you I love him. And I was like, oh. She's really sad about that, and Shoya doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Bro, like, who was that oblivious?
What were you saying, Austin? I couldn't hear you, brother.
It really pissed me off that I didn't realize, because I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm obviously we know more than he does, but I was just like, come on now, you're such a fucking idiot.
I would say that, but he didn't even know what like a friend was at that point, so like he doesn't know like what's going on at all, to be honest. So I was just like, all right, cool. I just thought it was funny because he said he didn't even know what his Bronco Boy was his homie until they had to say it.
Facts.
And yeah, man. I wrote, man, what did Bronco Boy did something clutch at the end because I wrote it down. I was like, bro, Bronco Head is the realest man I know from head to toe, And
I literally also I wrote Nagatsuka is a good friend. I meant that about the whole movie, but I thought about it right at the end.
he did something at the end where it was
well,
like specifically.
These two dudes, I think it was his old friends or something. I don't remember, were like coming up on him. And I remember he's like, "No, that's my guy. Don't touch him." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I could be what you're thinking.
It was-
I don't
no,
remember.
it wasn't that.
He was being a little bit of a jealous Andy at one point because the
Yeah.
random dude, the redhead dude,
Yes,
was just
that's what it was.
had his hand on him, and that was on the bridge right before Shoya got mad at everyone. He was like, "No," he was like, "That's my friend. Like, don't touch him."
He did something
Yeah.
clutch, but I don't remember what it was. Fuck, dude.
I don't remember either.
It was something where like I was
Um,
like, that was clutch right there. I think it was something to do with I know exactly what it was. Okay, I'll talk about it in a second. I know now. And so then you get to the fireworks festival, bro.
Oh, dude.
Bro. I was shook to my core at the fireworks. I was like, this is awesome. He's talking to her. He's like, "When's your birthday?" He's like, "Well, next time I'll spend your birthday together." He signs it or whatever together. And I was like, "Let's go, let's go."
Yeah.
No, I was like, is he finally gonna get the girl?
And then, the directors were like, "Watch me crush your heart."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I have to go get something."
Where did I write it? I wrote later in a couple minutes after this. I wrote, "I'm near about to shoot myself in this span." It was like the 5-10 minute span where I was literally just so scared for my emotions and my feelings.
Dude, I was shook. Like I
yeah,
knew,
me too.
because I was nervous all that whole time because I knew something was gonna happen. I was just nervous the whole time. I'm like, bro, please, bro, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Right?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
So
I don't know what they were gonna do. I knew they were gonna do something though.
I was like, okay. I was like, she has to go study. It's summer vacation. I was like, whatever. I was like, can't be a big deal, right? And then he goes back to get the camera. I was like, wait a second.
No, as soon as
As soon as they
facts.
secured the camera, I was like, oh, shit's over.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it.
He knocked on the door. There was no answer. I was like, no. Oh, dude, my heart just dropped.
Bro, I was fucking raging at Shoya trying to take his goddamn shoes off for no reason.
I know.
Just go, dude.
Okay, no. It's not. Okay, in fairness, that is, I believe that was probably just a natural reaction. Because that's what they do in Japan.
I know that,
Is
dude.
they take their shoes off.
But
He was the
fuck,
slowest walker to
Stand.
come help, bro.
he
was the
tripped.
slowest.
He took his time to take his shoes off. He tripped and fell. Almost fucked it.
Only had one shoe off.
I know, but okay, fuck it. You run like you can. I can kick the shoe off faster than when I'm running than I can taking it off right here.
I could have hopped for like faster than what he was doing, man.
And she fucking slips, dude. I'm just like, I just literally was like, I just had my hand over my face. I was just like, all right, dude, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Grown man tears are gonna happen right now. I was like, fuck, dude. I was really
What were
upset.
you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Oh, Austin.
Oh,
I haven't heard from Austin in a minute.
Yeah,
This is a big scene.
honestly, I think that I really kind of I don't know. I really don't know. I'm kind of just bouncing off of what you guys are saying, and I'm honest. I honestly don't have much to say about this scene. It's crazy, even though like you guys are saying it's a big scene, and I'm just kind of listening to what you guys are saying.
it didn't hit you impactfully at all.
I don't really think so. I don't know. I think at that point I probably was like a little bit tired of the movie. So, but I don't know. Yeah.
It's because she's deaf. Just playing.
I mean, it's not gonna hit everybody the same. You can't expect it to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
dude.
at that point I was just like, I was getting tired. I was just getting tired of the movie, honestly. I know definitely by the end of the movie. I know at the end of the movie I was happy it was over, personally. But
Fair enough. That's definitely your opinion.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
When he got up, he was on the ground and he got up, and it did like they do with the bus thing all the time, where you see someone and the bus passes and they're gone.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was happening.
She was off the ledge. I was like,
no.
I just, oh, dude, it was bad.
your boy's a
Yeah.
big tard. Just throwing that out there. Never mind.
What?
Never mind. Just like no. No, I was 100% wrong. I thought we were talking. I didn't know that we actually got to that. We were talking about the actual part where it happened. That's all. That's
We talked about the fireworks thing, and then how he went back and got his camera, or to get the camera. Yeah, to get the camera, right, or put it back or whatever.
Again, I'll take full responsibility for that. But no, 100. My thoughts on my thoughts on that were were honestly that I didn't think. I mean, I don't know. It honestly pissed me off that he fell, and that it pissed me off that he fell at all. I understand that when they got to that point, someone had to fall basically, but it pissed me off. Like it's just, I don't know. It just kind of pissed me off that he failed, and it's just them trying to gain him back, like how we've been talking about. Do you think he can bring himself back from this? Do you think he can bring himself back from this? And it's just like I knew that that's what they were gonna do. As soon as I saw like her standing on the ledge, I knew that's what they were gonna do, and I was like, I just knew that's what they were gonna do, and I was like, well, here they go. Now they're gonna try and bring him back, make him make us like him again. And it personally, like I said, didn't really work for me. But I saw that from that what was happening and everything, and then I was interested. I was very curious because I thought, honestly, I could have seen the movie. I saw the movie going towards that he died, and then them like rebuilding it in just his memory and having the good memories that they had. But I thought that I just didn't expect. I personally didn't expect them to go have him in a coma. I didn't expect that.
Same.
At that point, when you said when he falls, it wasn't impactful because you felt like that was them trying to redeem himself. I feel like that's the most selfish thing he did in the movie, to be honest. Like that wasn't for anyone but him and her. Like he just wanted her to be alive for him. I didn't give him brownie points for that. Like that wasn't like, oh, you get a little bit credit back for saving her. I know that like other characters did, but I didn't because I was like, you did that because you want her alive to be with her and because you care for her now and that you don't want her gone or whatever. And I didn't really see like that was a redemption arc part. I think everything before that was redemption arc. Him making up for everything he did was him recreating her friendships with the people that she missed out on from elementary school. I think that was redemption points. He got her with that one girl that used to be her translator. That was redemption points. The suicide scene, he didn't get points for me from that because I thought that was just like he did the thing he felt like he needed to do character wise, right? Like I don't think he did that because he felt bad for what he ever did to her. He did that because he wanted her alive. Period. So I consider that more selfish, not necessarily like I'm trying to do this to they're doing this to keep for credit or whatever. And when he fell, I thought he died too. I thought it was GG, especially when I thought he was fine until the blood hit. I thought he was good until the blood hit. Yeah. And then the blood, I was like, oh, he's fine.
And then they started doing all those like weird like
flashbacks
scenes as if he was like, or because he was like, it's so cold. Oh, it's warm. And they showed like the blood. I was like, oh, they killed him. I was like, they killed him.
Well, I thought it was on concrete, not like water. That's what I thought he was going to do it on concrete.
You thought he did it on concrete?
I thought it was concrete too, to be fair.
But I thought it was. Before we get into like the whole coma scene, I wanted to take a turn real quick and just say that I thought it was cool and kind of like more impactful that like we're doing this so close to like 4th of July and stuff and like the fireworks and stuff. Like it kind of hit me harder, I feel like, just with like all that going on in real life, like with the fireworks and stuff. Like I could kind of like visualize myself like in that atmosphere almost.
Oh, like on summer break and everything.
Yeah, just because that's what's going on right now, kind of.
True.
But anyway.
But yeah, and then he falls, and then hospital time, and then Naoka just shows up to be a fucking bitch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what the fuck?
She's probably hot. Dude, she was hospital raping him. That's facts.
Why was she beating the fuck out of Shouko for? Why the fuck was no one defending Shouko? Why the fuck was no one choking the shit out of her? Her mom pulled up and smacked the fuck out of her, and I was like, okay, let's go. And they started brawling, and I was like, let's fucking go. And then Shoya's mom comes in and separates them. I'm like, no, let that mom catch the smoke. She's got this. Like, she's definitely got the one-on-one smoke. And I was just, I don't know, dude. I was just very hate fucking Naoka because she's so stupid. And then fucking this is where I said Bronco Boy came in clutch. It was Shouko was going up to the door, and fucking dumbass Naoka clocked it or whatever, closed it and like held the door closed or whatever. So then Bronco Boy came up and then
that was at the hospital. Good night, almighty.
What? You didn't know?
What?
Oh my. Okay. So Bronco Boy takes her away.
Moving on.
So Bronco Boy takes her away, and then he starts talking to her and everything like that. And he's like, he really cared and everything like that. Blah 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 blah. Don't feel bad. Things like that. I was like, that's when I said like Bronco Boy's the clutch. Like he's a homie because they hadn't settled their beef yet, but he was still there for Shoya no matter what. And then it took Shouko having to go get everyone for everyone else to be cool with him after that. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one else came there. It was just Shoya was there, and then Shouko had to go get them to come to Shoya after he. I thought that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and it was just I was just fucking pissed, and like they got all the friends together, and I was like, whatever. Miki still didn't fucking admit that she was bullying her at the beginning. Fucking
Yes.
Naoka was being a bitch still. Like I don't fucking care. Like they try to make it like, oh look, she cares about Shouko now. She did called her a moron in sign language. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Suck my dick. Like fuck off. I'm still killing her via guillotine whenever I find her.
I know, she for real was, she was like, he. I was like, go away.
I'm like, fuck that. It's like a thing in it's a thing in anime. It's called like tsundere, and it's like chicks who like you, but they want to fucking kill you. It's the stupidest shit ever. Like they hate you, but they like you. It's the stupidest shit ever. I'm not into it at all, and I fucking hate characters like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Real quick, since Reek did a little skippity skip.
Yup.
I don't know if that was his whole plan. The scene right after he wakes up.
Oh my god.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Bridge. I don't know. Was she like going to see him?
Yeah,
There was like that dream thing,
thought she was
and
dreaming.
it looked like he was gonna kill himself again.
They were connected.
that's what I was saying. How he woke up because they had that kind of that fucking also pissed me the fuck off too.
All right,
I was
Austin,
like,
we
this
get it.
bullshit.
You hate life. You want to fucking kill a baby. I understand.
Just this fucking movie. God, I just wanted it done.
Well, so okay. First of all, my first question was, he just up and left the hospital in his gown. Okay,
There
sure.
weren't any fucking nurses sitting
There
there on
was
24-hour
there was
shifts
no
with
one to
coma.
stop him from
That's
just
such
leaving the
bullshit.
hospital.
Have you been to a hospital in Japan? That's what I thought.
To be fair, right? You're saying that. And there's like literally, it's an anime trope that people just escape hospitals when they feel like it. Like, legitimately, they just fucking leave. They just get up and walk away. It's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing.
I don't know.
I mean, shit.
So
You could say the same
was
about like
that.
The Walking Dead. Like, how the fuck does
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was telling Eli. How the fuck did Rick get out of the bed? I mean, at some point you gotta have suspension of disbelief, or else you're just gonna fucking pick apart a whole movie. Like,
I know. But I mean, it wasn't like he even put on clothes and left. Like he was still in his gown.
I don't know. I just
It wasn't
assumed
like we could have even believed he just checked himself out.
he was
Like he just straight up left.
He was
him.
just high,
I
baby.
was like, come on.
He was off a perk.
And
Okay.
told her, I'm fine now. I know. How the fuck do you know you're fine? You could be fucking internally bleeding for all you know for the shit you pulled out of your body. Like,
True.
Yeah. But wait, go ahead, Eli.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is the scene that disappointed me the most for a different reason.
Yeah, I think I'm about to get to that.
So, for a romance film,
No, I Love You remix or kiss.
yep.
Nothing.
what?
No remix of the I Love You. So, like, she didn't say it again, and there was no kiss.
Right. I was expecting a kiss right there.
I in my notes I put, does she love him or are they just friends?
Yeah, for a romance film, I expected that scene to be
That was it,
kiss.
that was
I love
it.
you. I don't know. That was the moment, and I
He
was
was-
like, I feel like everyone was expecting that, and it just didn't happen.
Especially
That was
after
weird.
the big comfort where she was like,
Yeah.
it's all my fault, blah blah blah. And he was like, no. The other thing I wrote about that scene was how did everyone let Shoka go on her whole life blaming herself for other people bullying her? She was like, it's always been my fault. I'm like, it's not your fault you're deaf. It's not your fault people bully you for that. Like,
Right.
come on, man.
That's like a real. That's a thing though. Like, to be fair, like that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know it is.
Nothing externally is gonna convince someone that it wasn't their fault if they think it is. No matter how many people come to you about it, you will still think like.
Here's the other thing. It didn't help that you had Nahuka being
Fucking a bitch
stupid,
face.
and she was trying to tell her basically exactly that. She was like, "It's all your fault. Like you didn't even." She literally said, "She was like, you didn't even try to change.
No
You try to
hooker.
interact with us
No
in
hoe.
our way."
No horse.
No, no whore.
Yeah, I
These
just
nuts.
I don't know, but yeah, that just made me upset because like I had to check again the description of the movie to make sure it was actually a romance film, like, or that it was like titled romance, and it was. And I just find that wild that like for being that genre, like I didn't get that like satisfaction of like a romance film.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was no
Right.
romance. Anything.
Right. That was the moment to do it.
It had all the build because it had even been building up before that, and we get to the fireworks.
No.
I was like, dog. I was like,
Yeah.
what happened? Like,
know.
the little sister and her mom left. I was like,
I
yo.
Yeah,
Come on.
nothing.
That was something.
Yeah, that brought it down a little bit for me.
Fair. But
What did you think about that, Reek and Austin? What did you think about what me and Tristan are complaining
But
about?
don't you feel it'd be a little cliche if you had him kiss and it was what made him better from a coma? Don't you think?
Yeah,
so?
of course, but that's what the audience is expecting.
Yeah,
So
but
the point
they subverted your expectations, Eli.
No, they went under my expectations for that scene. Like my expectations were that scene, Like
They gave you the M Night Shyamalama Doomalama cut. Like, they gave you the fucking twist plot.
It wasn't even like a pleasant surprise or anything. Like they
Right.
did something really cool with it. Like we just assumed that they're just friends now, and I'm like, come on, dude. Like what?
Okay,
What?
if you assume they're just friends now, come on. That was a little much. But yes, they didn't have the payoff for the viewer at all.
Yeah, I was literally like, I was already fucking pissed off about how he woke up and all that bullshit. And I was standing up like, oh, they're about to kiss. And then hold hands, about to kiss. Nothing happened. No, I love you. No, nothing. I was like, fuck this movie. I'm done.
I can see why that would be that would be the
I was
straw that
literally
breaks the
standing
camel's
up
back
yelling, like, fuck this.
My favorite part about the end was when Busta Rhymes showed up.
What? Oh, you mean? Come on, dude.
Busta came behind the curtain and said, "Yo!" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa,
Where Maria?
Whoa, Busta, whoa." Busta looked like about 45 years old. I'm like, whoa. What are you doing dating a fucking 20-year-old girl, Busta?
I said Busta's wilding for having a 6-year-old daughter, though.
Baby by Busta.
Baby by Busta. Bro, that's a whole nother level. Dude. This my baby. It's by Busta.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, so right before all that, there was like the part where Reek was getting pissed off at Nahuka one more time for the whole moron thing. Yeah. Right before that, though, we got to see my boy Nagatsuka, Brocco boy, being just a clutch friend one more time, even though he was, busting into the stall. Shoya was just crying.
Holy fuck, dude!
Busting into the stall.
Scene, that was another anime porn shot. All the angles on that, I could have sworn Brocco boy was sucking him off. I'm just saying, Brocco boy was
really
off all the angles. Rewatch it.
I didn't make that connection at all.
I didn't. I was afraid. Not afraid, but I was wondering if like he was just going to be gay all of a sudden when he started becoming friends with Nagatsuka. But then it turned out not that way, and I was like, okay, like, so what are they going to do?
And I wasn't saying that I actually thought that he was sucking him off, but I'd be like, just the angles of this, and it's like it's the same thing with the fight scene all over again. I'm just like, this fuck, the god damn it, pissed me. Yep. Another thing that pissed off Austin. What do you know?
So Brocco boy is the best friend ever. That's what we take away from this movie. Honestly, I think the romance tag. It is a romance, kind of, but it's not traditional romance. It's more of a story of friendship, of gaining friends and like regaining yourself.
That's fair.
Like, if we just go off the genre tags, yeah, it's not necessarily like a traditional romance, but like, it's him really regaining his friends and making amends for himself. Like, he accepted himself by the end. Not necessarily that he thinks he should be forgiven, but he's like, I'm okay with me now.
Yes. Yeah. And that's actually in my notes I wrote. I was like, is this a self-discovery movie?
It is.
I was like, this is not
100%.
exactly what I was expecting, but it's kind of what it turned out to be. And granted, I did kind of enjoy the way they did that ending scene with all the X's falling off and everything. I was like,
It was
like
sick.
he's okay with everything now.
The X's, I always thought the X's were dope imagery, and then when they came off was dope
I
as
thought-
well.
Yeah,
thought it was
it
cool
was.
too.
That's part of what I was saying like earlier when I was like,
Awesome.
this movie was well done. I thought
Yeah.
that they did a good job. Like that whole imagery was really cool.
The more that we talk about it, the higher I feel about the movie. Like the more I actually think about it in depth. To be honest, it's probably
Same.
more of a 7.5 for me at this point. But
It was also what kind of sold it on me too was that at the end he just wasn't magically fixed either. Like when Naoka and Brocco Boy take him, he still has a breakdown at the end, even though everyone loves him. Like he has a
Yeah.
breakdown,
Oh, yeah.
has to go sit by himself again. He's like, I can't do this. I want to go. Like I want to leave. And I was like, that was perfect. Like he doesn't just magically like snap his finger and he's good. No, he's like, I still have to work through this, but he's like, I'm getting better with it. That's why the X is falling off is him. It's a baby step, right? He can make eye contact now with people. That was the baby step with the X's. And
Right.
that's why I was like,
and the other
that's
thing
fucking
was that he started like hearing what they were saying.
the truth. He started hearing like the
Mhm.
truth, and he wasn't lying to himself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it. Now that we're at the end, I have to get into my main point, my main criticism point, I should say. I understand that it's a movie about bullying, and I understand it's about overcoming that and whatever. But they hammered the bullying tag in for me. I understand they're trying to make like connection to the viewer and stuff, and make you feel like emotionally connected to the bully victim. But I feel like for me, like since I was so like cringed up at the scenes because I obviously like nobody like wants to see bullying and stuff, like they were so impactful that like seeing that much just really like brought it down for me.
In anime specifically, in animation, I've become kind of numb to the bullying stuff because honestly, this movie doesn't even crack my top 10 of like worst bullying shit. Like,
Oh, really?
They get fucking bad, Eli. Like there's an anime I watched where they bludgeoned this girl's puppy to death, and they show you
What?
it's fucking terrible. That anime,
That's
I watched
awful.
it when I was young. I'd never watched it again, and that's fucking stuck with me. And like that shit, like crazy.
Jeez, man.
So like I said, that's not even like the worst. There was one where like they fucking raped her. It was insane, dude. Like anime bullying goes fucking dumb. I don't know if it's a Japan thing. Like I don't know if Japan's bullying like is that bad. Like where like people do crazy shit like that. I know like Japan has crazy shit in general with like cultural stuff, but I don't know if their bullying's that bad. But this was not
I
too
would
bad.
believe it.
This was not too bad comparative to other stuff,
Damn.
in my opinion.
Like, no, that makes sense. It's just for me being a not
first time
as-
consumer.
yeah, exactly, an anime virgin. I was not like I was not attuned to that idea, I guess.
Yeah. That's why like live action stuff gets me riled up more than animation now.
No, that makes sense.
But yeah.
I guess I'll throw in one of my bigger positives of the movie then if I'm going to throw out a huge negative. Something that really brought it up for me, and I'm sure you guys noticed this, the koi fish.
Mhm.
So it was even on the movie poster actually. So it's like a big part of the movie, and I didn't really realize why, so I looked it up. And there's a huge like backstory. I don't know if it's Japanese culture or what it is, but there's a huge like backstory on how koi fish are like the symbol of overcoming hardships and like leaving what you once knew behind. So like it basically is just the symbolism for the movie, which I thought they did a really good job with the symbolism, to be honest, with that and the X's over the faces and that kind of thing. I thought the koi fish reference was really cool. I read a little bit of the backstory and the culture behind it if you're interested, but it's basically there's a whole pond of koi fish and there's a waterfall, and all of them tried to swim up the waterfall, but they couldn't get to the top. So they kept trying, and finally they'd like stack on top of each other, like together. But since they were so close, the gods or whatever gods were in this theoretical, I don't know, but they raised the waterfall so they couldn't get up. But one koi fish did it by himself and like kind of went away from the group that was trying to do it their own way, and he kind of went and did it himself, and he got up to the top, and then he like they said it turned into a golden dragon and flew
Mhm.
away or something like that. But like it's just the backstory of like you can do it your own way and overcome like what everybody else is doing to like kind of just like overcome whatever you're struggling with, I guess. So that's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with the Koi story because one of my favorite games I played has that. It's called
Mhm.
it's Yakuza, the series. It's called Yakuza Kiwami 2, and
Mhm.
in Yakuza culture or whatever, they have back tattoos, and the most common is of a dragon, of course. So the main character has a dragon, and then his opponent has a golden dragon, and so they bring up that Koi story about how the one who overcame adversity. So I'm familiar with that story. I didn't apply it here though, so you making that connection is very smart. So yeah, I didn't apply it there, so that's cool.
I didn't do that. Was there anything I missed then? Because like I said, I just kind of read like a brief like little.
No, it's just that
thing
they're
on it.
shown to be like the one that's superior to others because they made a different
Gotcha.
decision and how they're different from the pack. That's really about it. It usually just signifies like they're special.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I took out of the koi fish. At least I don't know if that was even what they were going for, but.
No, that's a good way to say it because he finally he went his own way finally and stopped trying to be a follower because he bullied her because he was following everyone to begin with because they started and then so he started and then he finally decided I'm gonna do my own thing now and whether they want to be with me or not it's their choice. Like he never went back to them, they went back to him if you think about it,
Yeah.
So that's dope.
I feel like that's true for a lot of people. Like you start off just wanting everybody else's attention. Like even if it is picking up people, you want everybody to laugh. I know like I've done it in the past. I still do it. Like everybody wants that attention. Like people to think they're funny, and like for kids, that's bullying. Like obviously in this case, really harshly. So
yeah, no, that's a sick connection though. I like that.
Thank you.
Any other final thoughts from Austin and Tristan before we wrap up?
Personally, I mean, I'm pretty good, honestly. I think I've made it pretty clear, and this just wasn't, I guess, just not my favorite movie. So basically, I can see where you guys get your enjoyment out of it and everything, but just personally, it just wasn't, like I said, not my favorite movie. So and you're gonna have something like that.
Yeah, of course.
I have a question for Austin, actually. Would it be different if it wasn't an anime?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I was just wondering.
I used to watch anime when I was younger, like a lot of like the basic anime, Dragon Ball and stuff like that, but it's not the fact at all that it's an anime. It's just if I feel like this would be a normal teenage American movie, it'd be the same thing for me.
Okay. I would say because personally for me I don't know that it would be any different, but like I definitely went into it thinking anime, so I kind of came in with that like kind of negativity, I guess, because of what people say. Oh, you're an anime person. So I guess that kind of affected what I thought too.
That's fair. It's a big stigma for people because people just generalize it as weird and strange, and that it's like they instantly go to hentai half the time, and they're like, "Oh, you watch Japanese porn? You watch tentacle porn?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, I just watch cartoons like you do, motherfucker." Just mine are made in Japan. It's the same shit. Literally, anime is just Japanese for animation. It's just cartoons. It's what they call cartoons, brother.
Ooh.
So it's silly. Tristan, closing thoughts, brother.
I appreciated your throwing this in there. It was a definite change of pace for me. But I kind of appreciated it. It was a ride. I mean, like sometimes you watch a movie and like dramatic things happen, and you react a little bit, but like I got a little bit invested into this movie. So like the fireworks scene and on the balcony, I found myself like I sat up as soon as some of these things were happening, and I was like audibly gasping, and my jaw dropped, and I was invested a bit. So this was a solid choice.
That's good. I just kind of wanted to break the anime barrier and open you guys up to it by getting the most normal one I could possibly find. And Silent Voice is pretty normal. outside of a couple different Japanese culture things and names, really, it's pretty normal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no weird stuff going on, really. It's just a relationship kind of thing, which is good. So it opens you guys up to it without having to go to the weird deep end, because the deep end is pretty deep, to be honest with you. It's like if it started out like a 1 foot pool and then like a 15-foot pool. It's like that's how kind of anime goes. So I started you off on the baby end, and then slowly I'll drop you guys deeper into the word, to the shit.
So excited.
To the scary shit. To the spooky. Which might one of my next shows might be pretty fucking crazy.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Speaking of next shows.
Yeah, I was saying that's exactly what I was
going.
It's time for the wheel
to find out what our next movie is.
All right. So we had updates from Eli and Austin. Austin previously had Top Gun in. It was updated because Top Gun is no longer, or it wasn't, or is no longer, we don't know, on streaming services. So we can't watch Top Gun anymore without paying for it. And it goes against the spirit of the Binge Boys, which is for you to binge it on services you already have, such as Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, or any sort of free app that you can use. So that was changed, and then Eli swapped out Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Zodiac, a movie he has not seen yet, but I believe Tristan's seen.
Tristan has seen Zodiac.
And Austin hasn't, correct, Austin?
I think I've watched a little bit of it, but I never finished it.
Alright, I did not watch Zodiac either. So it's a 50-50 split here. And after this next one, and the next one after that, we'll have a new list of movies up. It's between The Platform and Zodiac, and boys, will give it a spin right now. So let's find out what we got. It will be Zodiac by a close margin. Very, very close margin.
As close as the show last week?
No, not that close.
That was very
I will send
close.
you guys pictures of this one again, but it wasn't that close. Avatar won by like a fucking smidge. Like, it was insane.
So this week, so the next one will be Zodiac. The one after that will be
Platform.
Okay. What? Speaking of, what platforms are Zodiac and Platform on? Zodiac's on Netflix,
I
right?
think they're both on Netflix.
Both on Netflix.
Yes, Netflix. Call us. We would love to be sponsored by you.
This is true.
But we are not exclusive, so Hulu also
It's
call
a
us.
tiny studio.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus
Give us
also
a tiny
call us.
studio.
We may have a special edition of the podcast next time.
We may.
We may
We
possibly
will see.
have.
We'll keep everyone updated.
We'll have a in-house edition maybe next week. We'll see if we can. We'll see what we can do. But
This is true.
keep an eye out, because next week we are watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1.
Book 1.
Wata.
Yes.
And
Prepared you all.
What?
which Austin hasn't seen, Eli hasn't seen, and me and Tristan have seen. But I decided that I'm gonna watch this movie, or watch the show with my sister, who hasn't seen Avatar, and give you guys notes on what she thinks about it too. Austin, I think if you like realism, Avatar might not be for you, brother.
Oh, I used to watch Avatar when I never watched it forever. I never watched show to show, but I used to watch the shows by themselves, and I love Avatar, so I know I'm gonna like this.
All right, so you get to watch it for your first time in entirety.
Yes, so I think
Storyline and everything. Dude.
Shh, Tristan, calm down. Don't blow your load on the podcast. Save that for post.
Uh,
Save that for the post.
Sorry,
show.
I love this show, dude.
Me too. And so, with that, we would like to conclude this episode of the Binge Boys, Binge Plus, A Silent Voice. Before we go, actually, Eli and Tristan, you guys said that talking about it kind of gave you guys a bump in score. Where did you finally, end up at in bumping?
I think I said 7, max 7.5. I went up at half to 1 point probably.
Tristan, how much?
Same.
Did you
I'd move it up to a 6.5, 7 at least.
Yeah.
Okay, that's solid.
Not by much,
Still
but the more
3.5.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, I kind of caught that. All right, so yeah, that changed. So this has been the Binge Boys on Binge Plus, talking about A Silent Voice. You can find us here next week talking about Avatar: Last Airbender, Book 1, Water. We would like to conclude this. My name is Enrique.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Eli.
I'm Austin.
And we will catch you guys here next Monday. Thank you for watching.